to grab a little footage of him raking and rolling at the same time. And of course, the wind has to be gusting today. He's just getting started, so he asked me to stick the bells with the moisture checker. That's what we call it anyway, and make sure that everything's looking good, so I'll do that. Looks good.
Just wanted to talk about, this is the first time I've ever used this tractor to round bale with. It is fantastic. Man, if you're on the fence about an IVT or as a baling tractor, man, there's nothing better. I mean, everything is just so much smoother, and it just works better. It's just made for baling. With these electronic SCVs, you can adjust the speed of how fast the rake turns. Like I had to speed the rake up today because how much the wind's blowing and how thin it is. I had to speed it up a little more because I'm having to go faster, and for it to pick up everything I needed to pick up, I needed it to spin faster. So I was able to adjust that on the fly while I'm sitting here, and while I'm moving, I'm adjusting it. And just the quickness of the hydraulics on this thing are amazing. It's got the same gallon per minute pump as the M that I had, but it's so much. It's just faster. It just does everything faster. I'll dump a bale here. Watch how fast this gate moves. Look at that thing. Freaking flies. Couldn't take. Starts to rake back up every time. Real nice. Everything's so smooth. You can adjust your speed just by rolling the dial. You don't have to worry about trying to be in a gear. And Sorry it's so bumpy in here. I'm not if I don't travel north and south through these fields, it gets pretty bumpy because over the years, just from fertilizing when it's a little wet, or spraying when it's a little wet, or cutting when it's a little wet, there's sometimes you got to get on the field when it's just a little bit wet. You have no choice. Because if you sit and wait until it was completely dry, you'd never get all your hay down. You'd run into another chance of rain and another, you just can't do it. So sometimes you just got to bite the bullet, and you may make a little bit of it's not like there's ruts, but it just puts little depressions in the field. And, when you do it enough times, it kind of makes it a little rough going in certain directions. So it's, this would be a good place to have a gimbal holder for the phone. So, but one step at a time, kind of how I do the hay business. There's lots of things I'd like to have, but I don't. So that's we're going over here to another piece. But man, I just can't stress how much. I'm not saying you have to get an IVT, but I know they make a CVT. I guess Massey does, and New Holland has one now. I don't know what they call theirs. But if it's a money thing, John Deere is just as cheap as all the rest of them when it comes to the Tier 4, which I guess is the the Tier 4 emission stuff. John Deere's, they're all expensive now. They told me in New Holland, they're just, wow, how I missed that. I don't know. They told me in New Holland they were wanting 140 for their tractor for 125 horse, 140,000. I was like, what? I was like, no way. So they're all the new tier 4 tractors are going to be about the same price. So basically, it boils down to your dealer, and I think John Deere builds I just think they build a better tractor. I mean, I have a couple New Hollands that have been fantastic, but they're not like this. I don't know. Of course, I haven't tried one of their, if theirs is a CVT, maybe. I guess it's like whatever the case is. Since Case and New Holland are the same, but don't be afraid to buy one. You won't regret it.
He's gonna clean up the dam. He cut it, so now he's gonna roll it. I never like working on the dam because the sides are so sloped. It's actually frightening.